Welcome back, everybody. Going into the third hour of this week's episode of RollPlay Nebula. Jazz, where is the ship headed? Where are you going? You've got a hunk of junk that can get you through space, but we need to be very clear on where you're going. Let's open the scene on this discussion in character, right? Like, what needs to happen?
Yeah, so I think our order of operations, just out of character, is I would like to leave Quimba behind because where we're going is probably way more dangerous. Mm-hmm. Even though I want to, for comic reasons, take Quimba with us. I think he'd be safer back on our planet if we're trying to lure people away from the planet. Mm-hmm. So I would leave him with my sister and Slarp and everyone because he's technically the last of my class, my cast. Then I think we need to go into, and this is just based on what we decided, probably go into probably the edge of the system and be like, yo, everyone, we have the thing, we have the scepter. If you want this shit, come get us. And like point them at something and then head to the mother slime. Like
no, yes. We're not no.
You're outvoted.
Yeah, maybe like as we come in, it's just me going, no, this is a terrible idea. Do you know what the mother slime is like? Everybody on there's a moron. They're all idiots and they're so happy. Like, we don't need to ruin that for them. Like, come on, you know how I am. You want an entire planet of those?
There's another place. I don't like it, though.
Great, let's do that.
It's in the neutral zone, just outside of Mingasi territory.
Uh-oh.
An old, giant, frozen asteroid.
I don't got enough craisins for this. It's too much.
You don't.
They're good, though. Craisins. They're crazy raisins.
I've been there in a couple of 100 years, but...
A couple hundred? How old are all of you? Why are you all like 1,000,000 years old? What is this?
How old are you?
Eugene, you're like, I'm 5.
Yeah, I'm literally 6 years old.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
There's a strict ceasefire rule. No arms can be drawn on its surface. But we could definitely cause some trouble there.
Great, let's do that.
Whoa. Where is this? Where are we going? What is this place called?
So there's a contested zone outside of the Mingasi Imperium that has been basically like constantly changing hands for a really long time, to the point where it's essentially like space Berlin after World War II. Like, a bunch of different people claim ownership over it, and so no one really has control. And it's been declared kind of a neutral zone for bad people to go and do bad things.
Then that's where we should make our announcement of saying that we have the scepter. Rather than doing it here, we should go there and then be like, everyone in the galaxy, we got this, bitch. That's where we should do it.
Rex kind of turns to Quinn and he's like, no one really knows the real name, but they call it the Dead Man's Reef.
Thanks.
That sounds like something a shark would say. So yeah, I'm going along with this. Sure.
Okay. Cool. Rex just punches the coordinates in. He's like, take us here.
Okay. Yeah. So when Rex like punches in the thing, the computer brings up the navigational map, and you can see where it is from where you are, and it's quite a ways away. But yeah, it's this kind of nasty looking, as Rex described, like a comet, like a dead comet that's lost its orbit. So it's a big ball of ice with a trailing kind of like tail that loops off behind it as it floats through space, and and it's covered in all kinds of like structures and like tunneled in. There's a warning. Like, the ship's navigation system warns you that you're leaving. Like, this course will take you outside of the Imperium space. It's a very dangerous place to go. Even the ship's computer knows that. That's where you set your course, and you want to head that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So one or more unexplained faster than light travel units later, you we
pew, pew,
yeah.
pew.
So I think actually we get the crossfade from we get the crossfade from the hologram version to the real version. And the real version we see like a nasty looking ship with a big like skull and crossbones, but the skull has like 6 eye sockets and fangs like an alien skull and crossbones. They
Right.
float by and it's painted in these. I'm thinking of there's a really famous like watercolor spaceship painting. I'll find it and I'll post it in the thread after. But it's like painted in this weird like purple like zebra stripe pattern, and we see it go by, and we see some other ships, and all of the ships here have a very like intense contrast to one another. So like there's like a space jellyfish that floats by in one direction, and then there's a bunch of smaller ships that kind of flit around like fish. We see a solar sail, like a big gold solar sail pulling a little like orb with some aliens in it. And there's a ton of ship traffic around this central comet, this dead comet, kind of twisting in space, leaving a big trail behind it. And so we see your ship like re-enter real space and start moving towards this place. And Rex, are you're the only one that's been here before, right? No one else has been to Dead Man's Reef. Okay. Is there anything that you're like warning them about as you approach it?
Yeah.
And you're like readying
Space
them
pirates.
to know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And their queen, which he has had a relationship with.
Probably.
There's multiple factions of like what we do. How our group initially was, where we would like just like find ships and valuables in space and stuff. They do that shit, but they kill the crew, and then they take it.
Right.
Right.
It's just like notorious space pirate territory, and there's like a bunch of different clans. So we just gotta like keep an eye out.
Yeah, and I think like for you, Quinn, like this place, what Jacker lore do you know about it? Like what are the space Jackers think? Because they're not pirates. Jackers have a code, right?
Oh yeah, no. So these guys, like the Jacker code, straight up is about honor and respect. And even though they go around jacking, they don't like kill people. They're not bad guys. They're just trying to make a living. Like they're not like ruthless. And so these people, they're like, oh no, we don't even go there. Those people kill their mama. They're terrible.
Yeah.
So these are like the scum. The Jackers won't even associate with these guys. And thusly, all these guys think Jackers are punks. They're like
Right,
wannabe pirates.
yeah, exactly.
They're like punks who like won't go that extra mile.
Yeah, Jackers with their code.
Yeah, this is like it's like Jackers are Jack Sparrow, and these pirates are like all the other horrible pirates in those movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're approaching this planet, and we see the ship come like flying in towards it, and you dock on one of the long kind of like docking arms that's bristling with spaceships, and you pull up and dock here. So where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do once you arrive?
I feel like we should go to a broker of some sort and say, hey, we have this scepter, and describe it, but not say it's Benghazi scepter, but like describe it to the point where like anyone smart enough would realize what it was.
Yeah.
But not be like, hi everyone, we have this thing. We should go to one of Eugene's like broker friends, I'm sure that exists here, and try to arrange it for it to be sold.
I mean, there's a bunch of them because like the pirates will rob stuff and then sell it here.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
There's
there's definitely like a very strong like
shit
black
ton
market
of brokers, and they won't ask too many questions about where stuff came from.
Right.
So
I'm just imagining the animated Nebula Jazz episode where we all go, all right, we need to make sure we blend in, and then we walk in wearing extremely cartoonish pirate outfits. Hello, fellow pirates.
Yeah.
There's like
Yarr.
there's a peg leg on my tail for some reason.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think that we I guess who is the person that who wants to say that they know someone here? Is it Eugene? Do you know someone who can like help you with this, or is it someone else?
Well, I mean, we did specify that none of us have been here before, but I can say that I
Right.
like put out feelers to see if there's somebody associated with someone that I've worked with before.
Right.
Maybe.
There's like some connections there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there might be a dude that I've never technically met, but like,
What if like that shop owner was here that we
I was
threatened?
just about to say that. The guy from the beginning, he ran away.
He
He's
ran
like,
away with
"Eugene
his
will never
wife."
find me, and he's here.
Like, what if like he happens to be here? We're just like, oh,
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
I was just about to look up his name because I couldn't remember what it was. Yes, that guy definitely has to be the one.
Yeah,
He's
his
like,
name is.
"Oh, Eugene, no!"
Yeah. Oh, not you people again. Yes,
Hey,
yeah, cool.
remember that staff? We somehow still have it.
Okay. So I mean, Eugene, you can put your feelers out and see. You can ask around if you know anybody or like
Sure.
contacts of contacts.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna get on the semi-truck radio station version of trying to sell shit in space.
Mm-hmm.
Roger,
Yeah,
Roger. 2459. I've got a package that needs to be plopped in the toilet. Over.
what?
Subtle.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's have you make a roll. Let's see how this goes. So it's like I think connections to other people. Are you trying to be like on the DL about this, or are you
I'm
are you
just
like,
I'm
putting the word out?
Yeah, more I'm not necessarily trying to be careful because lots of people do this here, right? Like this isn't a weird thing. I'm more just trying to see if there's somebody who's more on the legit side because I've worked with some really like good dudes before. So I'm trying to see if there's somebody that they would recommend.
Right. Okay. So you're gonna put word out to your contacts, and then hopefully someone will get back to you and be like, oh, I know a person. You should talk to this person.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that'll probably take some time. You'll need to secure yourself somewhere like safe or whatever to stay while you're here. Let's have you make that roll though. So this is I think you're being clever. I think this is a thing that you're good at. And let's say difficulty. Oh fuck it, you just blow it out of the water. All right.
Damn, probably
So
worked.
give it some time, and then someone will like contact you and point you in the right direction. But in the meantime, where are you going? What's everybody doing? I think we see you. We see you.
I'm gonna defer to
in
Rex on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you step out. We get a shot. We get a long shot of like you step out into the like the bazaar, the kind of main like marketplace of the station, and it's this like at once huge and sprawling but claustrophobic kind of interior space. Everything in here is inside. There are places where the comet's water is clear enough you can see space, but in this area, you're in a long concourse, and above and below you there's all these like catwalks, and attached to them there are merchant stalls that are essentially like the floating, like they're floating. They can detach and they can move around. And you're basically jostled and pushed around from all angles by the massive amount of different species that are like moving around in this place. And so you step out into this kind of neon and steam marketplace, and then and you see the depths of this station before you.
Cool. Yeah, and I think in the distance, Rex points it out, but there's a big sign for a bar, and the bar's called Parlay. And he points and he's like, "This is the place we need to go." And just kind of like gestures for the group to head over.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
I'll follow you, man.
Cool. So Rex takes us over to the bar, and like, as we're going in, you see like signs on the door, which are pretty ironic, that say like "No business conducted on the premises" and like all this kind of like threats and stuff like that. Leave your weapons holstered, all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
yeah.
realize it's like the big like neutral ground bar for like everyone who's landing on the planet.
Cool. Yeah, and the bar is like it's busy. There's a bunch of people at tables, and they're talking and drinking, playing games. And in the center, there's a sort of like a clustered, like again, this is like multi-tier, like a bar space there, and and I think when you come in, it's a seat yourself joint. So you see a table that you can go and sit at.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So is everybody gonna go sit? So we go get drinks. What do we see? Just tell me what's going on.
Quinn's gonna stand outside because I don't want to cause a everyone hates lizards moment inside the bar. So I'll just like chill outside and wait and see what happens.
Rex reassures you that won't happen here. One of the very few places where that won't happen here.
Quinn still stays outside. I'm not using this. Something that's never. You can say that. I don't trust anyone in the outside world to really truly keep to that.
All right.
Okay,
Rex
so the three
of
you go in.
Yeah, takes a seat at a table and like tries to flag down like a waitress.
Okay. Aurora, what's your reaction to all of this?
I think that, like everywhere else, she doesn't, like, I guess, pick up on the threat of being around a bunch of pirates. Like, to her, she's like, oh, this is great. I've never seen people like this. Like, this is very fascinating. She's, like, in awe and just, like, taking it all in while Sparky's also taking it all in. And she sits down, and as soon as she sits down, a drink is already put in front of her, and she looks up. Like, and the waitress points to a person that's at the bar, and it's like this like guy that has like a giant grizzled beard, and he's missing some of his teeth, and he like smiles and winks at her. And
he's blue, and he has this like long kind of scraggly like beard, and his hair is all like long and kind of like faintly glowy. And he's got like tusks coming out of his bottom lip, but one of them is like broken off. And he like looks over you and gives you like a little wave. He's got these like weird face tattoos.
And that's when she notices a lot of people are staring at her because she very clearly she's not a pirate, so she doesn't really fit in. So she's like, hi.
Yeah, and you look down at the drink, and there's some kind of like invertebrate like swimming around in it.
Oh gosh. Do I eat it? Do I drink? What do I do with that? Do I just let it swim? Is this
the waitress, who is basically just like a green skinned like human with a weird forehead, wearing like a diner like waitress outfit. She just shrugs.
What'll it be, sweetie?
Yeah, she shrugs at you and like walks away basically.
Oh, okay. Well then I just take a sip of it and go, ugh.
I think we see you take a little sip, and it's like, because it's a sci-fi drink, it's got like, dry ice smoke. So you like sip it, and then we see you spit it back in, and the little like slug thing goes out of your mouth back into the glass. He's like, bleh, and it just like floats around in the glass.
Cool. Rex like flags down the waitress and orders 2 drinks. And then
when you flag over a waiter, and some kind of like insectoid, he looks kind of like a fly wearing like a little tuxedo, his little like arms and legs dangling from its sleeves. He like buzzes over but he
has the voice of an angel. It's not one of those like, I am a fly. He's like, greetings, everyone.
Exactly.
He flies like
over
the fucking dude out the Phantom Menace, but he's just super polite.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Huge like segmented eyes, little like proboscis like face that like uncurls like a moth's. And then he like rubs his little gross little hands together, and he's like, welcome to Parlay. What can I get for you?
Rex just like points up at the bar. There's like a board above the bar with like their fucking most common drinks. And he's just like, give me 2 of the number 3, and I got a colleague outside. Just tell him to come inside, will you?
And so he takes your order. So you just order something off the board. Aurora, he doesn't ask you because you already have like a slug cocktail ready. But when he turns to Eugene, he like shakes his head, and he's like, oh dear, like rubs his little hands together, like he's suddenly very nervous.
I've been just like looking at the radio, and then I'm like, what's the holdup? What's happening?
Yeah, so you look up, and he's like, I'm sorry, sir, the ban is still in effect.
Sorry, what?
From the last time you and your friends were here, the unpleasantness, certainly you remember. Like,
I think maybe there's a little bit of a misunderstanding. Like, I realize we all look pretty similar, but I've never been here before.
And he flies in close, and we can see your reflection in his big segmented eyes. He's like, yes, of course, sir. I am sorry to have made the mistake. And he like buzzes back. Can I get you anything?
No, I'm good.
And he nods and he says, very good, sir. And
I just imagine he has like a towel over one of his little
yeah.
He's got like 4 arms and his like
a little
towels.
collar but no shirt.
Yeah, and like cufflinks but no sleeves.
They're hover cuffs.
On like
They're just
4 of his
floating.
6
hover
arms.
cuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Very good, sir.
Okay, sir. Excellent.
Yeah, and then he buzzes off. So outside, Quinn, what are you doing? Are you just like standing by the door?
A little bit further away. I'm kind of like, either across the street or diagonal from the bar, just watching it, making sure that nothing terrible is about to happen to his friends inside. Just keeping a lookout.
Okay. All right. So Quinn, outside, you hear like a tambourine. You hear like the rattling sound of a tambourine, and maybe like the pom 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 of like a drum, coming towards you. And people seem to be like clearing out of the way in disgust. We see a group of people, like pirates. They're like, oh no, and they like turn the corner to get out of the way of this procession that's approaching.
Quinn sort of gives it a little look, and instead of moving out of the way, just sits tight and doesn't move at all, and just waits for whatever this is to come down the road.
Okay. All right. So you turn to look, and you see a group of maybe like a dozen gelatinous life forms coming down the street, chanting,
slime posse,
chanting and singing and like banging their tambourine, and they're singing like some kind of like happy song about like returning to the mother and and like the mother's light, and like basically like singing like kumbaya, like they're slime Hare Krishnas essentially, and they're just like coming down the street dancing and clapping, and like everybody's just like ugh, and like moving out of their way as they this procession of slimes like passes to comes towards you, because you realize that the street is like clearing as they come up.
Quinn, as the biggest, if a lizard can smile, it is the biggest one he has ever had. And goes and walks directly up to them.
Yeah. Okay. So they like kind of finish their little chant, and they form a little group. Some of them merge back together. And one of them extrudes a smiley face, like just like 2 dots and a smile, like extrudes it towards you. And it says, hello, brother. Have you heard the good news?
Quinn is like, no, I have not.
So one of the other slimes like laughs happily, and the rest of them like clap their little tendrils together. And the head slime says, the slime says, well, my friend, have I got some information for you? You, even you, yes, you. And he like gestures up at you, his wiggling tendrils, can return to the mother's light. And he kind of gestures up generally to space, and he says, all life in the universe is connected. And then all the other like slimes are like, yes, connected. And like some of them like separate and rejoin, and they're all kind of like slopping around. And he says, connection with the mother's light is not merely for slimes. And then they're all like, no, not just for slimes, not for slimes. And he says, you too can return with us when we go to rejoin the mother. Pure bliss and true happiness awaits in the mother's tentacle arms. And they all kind of like wiggle in the sky like, hallelujah.
Quinn looks down at them. He's like, wow, you make a lot of valid points. When are you going back to the mother?
He says, we construct the great ship even as we speak. Our brethren and the other loyals are back in the slime slums, building the mighty ship that will return us to her sweet bosom.
Off to the side, just in the window, you see like Rex like slurping a tankard of beer, and he's just like, and you see like some of it run down his neck. He's just like frowning, and then he looks at Yuji and he's like, "Do you know them?"
What? God, I'm trying to make sure that I hear when a dude needs a thing and everybody's bothering me and
He points at Rex, points across the street.
Yeah.
As well.
immediately see them like, oh
You
no,
see
and
Quinn
it's,
like talking to about 40 little slime dudes who are like going like this.
it's literally like if a person saw their ex and immediately just wanted to disappear. Like Eugene just flattens out against the table. Is like, I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not
Now-
here. I'm not here.
Yeah, and so you like look back and the leader slime is saying to you, Quinn, and says, in the mother's embrace, all becomes slime. This hard exterior you are being forced to carry around will dissolve in her love. You will become one with the mass. And they're all like, yeah, hallelujah, amen. And he says, do you not wish to let go of your burdens?
I have so many burdens that I just, wow, you guys. Where would I meet you if I want to go see the mother?
And he turns and says to one of the other slimes, who we see is wearing like a shoulder bag, he's got a messenger bag kind of thing. The slime turns and says, "The pamphlet, brother," and like reaches out with a tendril. And the other one pulls out a folded piece of paper and puts it in his hand, and he hands it to you, and it's like kind of dripping with like slime. And he says, "Everything that you need to know to take the first step towards dissolution is in your hands." And he like folds his little tentacles over your hands, like holding you kind of like earnestly.
And Quinn looks at him and he's like, thank you so much for this. I guarantee my friends and I will be by shortly.
And he nods and he says, yes, bring your friends. All are welcome to be dissolved in the great acid bath of the mother. And like waves his hands and he says, we can all be slime in the promised land. And then he turns and he says, the procession must continue. And they all like split back into the same number before. And someone starts banging the tambourine. And then the little like bongo drum comes in and they start to like flop down the street, like waving their arms and singing and dancing. And then blood just like dripping off your hands and like slides back off after them.
Quinn goes and sits back down on sort of like the railing he was on and looks directly at the window and everyone else and holds up the pamphlet and is like, told you.
And on the front of the pamphlet, there's a little like, hologram display of like a bunch of like people of all different species like holding hands in a circle, and then the animation is them, they slowly dissolve into like a puddle, and then the puddle turns into a heart and then flies away, and then and it just keeps doing that like on the front of the pamphlet. Yeah. So meanwhile, inside, what's everybody doing? What's the plan inside Parlay?
Just drinking until we hear from Eugene's contact. Rex ordered Quinn a beer, and he kind of like points at it through the window to taunt him inside.
I'm because nobody's been like, oh, yeah, we have a plan to go see them again. I'm just like, oh, thank God they're gone. Now I can go on with my life and never see them again.
Yes, I'm sure that's the last we'll see of them.
Mm-hmm.
I finished my drink and I'm watching the slug at the bottom just like wiggle around.
Yeah, so you do that, and the slug like looks up at you, and he's like, "So are you gonna finish the job or what?"
What the? I just like slide the glass over to Rex.
Yeah,
Rex
and
just
as you
picks
slide the
it
glass
up.
away, he's like, "No, drink me."
Rex just like picks it up and just like, ow.
Yeah, and as you drop it, he's like, "Oh yeah," and then you like,
He
eat him.
just goes. That's it. He just
Excellent. Okay. All right, so you're all like at the bar, like you're at the table, you get drinks, and you like hang out for a little bit, I guess someone gets back to you, Eugene. You get a message. Who is the message from?
The message is from a woman named Planor.
Okay.
And she is known for being an absolute battle axe, but like she gets shit done. So she's honestly the last person that I was hoping would respond, like out of everybody. Like I do a lot better, with people that are a bit softer that I can manipulate a bit more. She's not going to be that way at all. But I figure, it's better than nothing. So.
Okay. Yeah. So she's got this thing where she doesn't trust anybody. So to do things in the world, instead of having underlings, she's cloned herself several times. So there's like dozens of her. The main one, Planor the Elder, she's like the source, but she just has a bunch of like clones that she uses to get her shit done. So one of like Planor the Younger's like gets in touch with you.
Do they all wear like different, like their outfits are all color coded? Like if you're in a white one, then you're one of the youngest. And then if you're in an
I think they
one,
have
then
I
you're,
think they have like
level
on their collar they have generations, like little like generation marks. Yeah.
They all wear like dungarees and then they have different collars.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Rex has a good story about a fun night he spent with 3 of them at once. And so you get a message from one of her clone underlings, and I think it's like a live like call. I think she like you get this and it's like you see her like comms like the Planor collective, like the big stylized P goes and like splits into a bunch of other sigils, and then you get the call request.
Okay. I go, oh, okay. And I like kind of slime outside so that it's not as noisy.
Mm-hmm.
I go, hello, you've reached Eugene.
I imagine the like Planor the Elder as like Anna from Overwatch, like if it was that actress like played this character, and then the Sarah.
Right.
So she's got this sort of severe look, like dark skin, black hair, all like very very business like, and you hear her voice, and she says, "We were surprised to hear from you, Eugene, especially given the last time. Don't you owe us some credits?"
Oh, I'm sure that's not true. I always pay my debts, Planor.
And she says, "I'm going to have accounting look into it, but in the meantime, it sounds like you need some help."
I do. I have an item that I would very much like you to look at and maybe put the word out for some potential buyers.
And you want to sell this in Dead Man's Reef? Problems with the Empire, Eugene.
What was that?
Problems with the Empire, Eugene.
Oh, just trying to, I've gotten my nose into some trouble a few times. I'd like to just play it a little safer.
Very difficult. Very difficult to keep one's nose clean when one has no nose.
You've always just, man, the brain on you, Planor. Always with the goofs. What a lovely lady.
Yeah, she says one of us is stationed in Dead Man's Reef now. You could speak with her.
I would love to. Yes. When can I do that?
I'll send you coordinates. She should be available. And then you hear like your phone or whatever your device, your space phone, like go beep boop, and you like get a comm ping from her with the information.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Thank you so much. Can't wait to do business with you again.
And she says, "You'll hear from us again soon after I speak with accounting, Eugene."
I can't wait.
Okay. So Rex and Aurora, you heard the other half of that. Like you heard Eugene's half of that conversation.
Okay.
I'm drunk.
So you've got.
Sounds good. So when we see you, I guess
right?
That's the thing. Are you a I stay at the table with my friends drunk, or do we see you somewhere else? Like, are you arm wrestling a
she's
a monster?
Flirting with that guy with no teeth now.
Yeah, she's at the bar with him, just pouring out.
She's
her
at the
problems.
bar with no teeth, man. She's like, "You're cute."
Yes. I mean, you don't have to be flirting with him, but we pan over. I guess. Okay. Does someone want Quinn? Would you like to compel Aurora to be doing that? Like,
I would love to compel Aurora to do that. Hold on. Let me figure out exactly the perfect way to compel. Yes, she's first off, I would like to compel your happy-go-lucky side and have the fact that you are so drunk and that before couldn't really stand that guy. He was kind of creeping you out. But you know what? He's been growing on you. He's been growing on you a little bit, and you go over to talk to him, and you're like, "You're cute," and he's like, "Hi, I'm Snaggleface, the pirate."
I mean, so I have an idea for this guy and what he does, but Aurora, is that true? Are you drunkenly talking to this old man?
I think I stumbled over to him and he gave me another drink and he's also pretty far in on his drinks. And yeah,
So-
that's what I'm gonna say is you're cute.
Yeah, so this guy's name is Jasper. He is a space prospector, and
Oh boy, I found space gold. I did. Oh,
and that's exactly what's going on. He has recently just hit pay dirt. He found an asteroid full of some kind of unobtainium, and he's got like on the table these little like shiny like chunks of rock. And he's just like he's bragging to you about. He's like, there's gold in them asteroids, girl. And he says, and for the right woman, I would share that. And he like taps it on the table. And he says, I like you. You got a cleanness to you. And kind of like leans in with one kind of popped eye.
Ew.
Yeah.
I like my ladies clean.
Yeah, exactly.
What
You
a
ain't
creepy thing.
Don't see many of them showering ladies around here.
Exactly, you're right.
Clean.
Exactly. That's his like main thing. He's like, yeah, you don't smell
Adam,
like
I want
trash.
you to know, one day when I finally make a Tinder profile, first thing it's gonna say is, "I like my ladies clean."
Clean ladies only.
Yeah, none of these filthy trash women.
I think it misinterpreted so bad.
Yeah. So that's the thing. He's just like all leaned in. He's got this like long scraggly hair, and he's just like really interested in telling you about space prospect.
My favorite character so far. I love this guy.
Oh, honey, like it's. I don't need money. I'm fine. No, it's fine. No. Tell me about yourself, though. Tell me. I want to know more about you.
Right. Okay. So he goes on a long diatribe explaining to you the details of his life, how he grew up in some backwater dust ball planet.
Well, he ends up telling me is that I remind him of his dead wife. That's what he ends up telling me. So we go from like this, like him trying to hit on me and pick me up with like money, and then to him crying. I mean, like, you remind me of my sweetie back in the day.
Right. His dead wife who died of space consumption.
My sweet
Yeah.
Priscilla.
Yeah.
Exactly. She was the cleanest woman I ever met.
And then by the end, like, he's crying and he's
Twice
crying.
a day she did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're just crying, and I'm patting him on the back. And it's okay. Oh, it's okay. I understand. And we're white girl wasted at this point.
Okay, all right. So the two of
Both
you are
of you.
just
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
just like crying and like talking about the good old days. Fantastic. Yeah. Cool. So I guess like because the purpose of going to the bar was just to have like a place to wait until you knew where the next place to go was, right? No one else wants to do anything else here.
No. So I think like Rex finishes his drink and looks at Eugene and he's like, "You good to go?"
I grabbed his
what-
number.
Because Playnor is a very specific lady. Like, you don't show up early, you don't show up late. So when does she want me there?
I mean, whenever the next scene starts, basically.
Perfect. Yeah, we can go.
Okay, cool. Rex just gets up and as he's walking out the bar, he just scoops up Aurora and puts her over his shoulder and just like walks out the bar.
Okay. As you leave the bar, we see a poster that has been put up recently on kind of like a notice board near the bar. And in fact, I think it's posted over the edge of a wanted poster of the group of you, so we can't really see that. We just see like wanted. We see like the edge of like Rex's face, but posted over top of it, there is a flyer, and on it we see a man in a tuxedo with like long tails, and he's holding a top hat, and he's got two little antennae. Otherwise, like human looking. He's holding a top hat and like a wand in the other hand. And the top hat has some kind of like strange looking alien creature like emerging out of it. And it says on the top, one night only, parlay, and at the bottom it says the amazing Dango Keel, and we just see this guy like, huh? And the flyer animates, obviously, because it's the sci-fi, and he like the little guy goes down, he taps the hat, and then makes like a face, and the little guy pops up, and he just kind of repeats that loop. And we see that in the background as the group of you leave the bar. So we cut to, I guess you're going straight to Planor's operation. You going to her place? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So it's amidst a bunch of other kind of shitty looking, like everything here is like clutched together, water stained and kind of damaged. And she has an office. And unlike everything around it, it's meticulously like clean. Has been cleaned recently. The windows, the hollow windows aren't glitching out, and it has just like an open doorway. Nobody's sleeping in the door, compared to the buildings next to it, which look like tenements. Basically, they're just like run down. And then above the door, there's that same kind of stylized, like spacey looking, like P like logo. And we see the outside shot of that, and we can vaguely see the group of you through the window. And we cut inside to the group of you standing in the waiting room, and we see the place is like a buzz in business. Someone walks by with a clipboard and is like talking on an earpiece. Somebody is behind. There's like a reception area, and then someone's behind the desk. Maybe there's like 2 or 3 of them, and it's all the same person.
They're
right?
all
like,
Planor, yeah.
They're all Planor. It's all the same woman of varying like ages, but it's all the same person. They're all dressed the same with the different like markings on their collar. And so we hear the like group of different voices that are all the same voice, speaking in different languages and talking. We see the group of you at the desk, and the receptionist Planor, she finishes the call and looks up at the group of you, and then like lifts herself up on the desk to like look over at Eugene.
Oh, allow me. And I like stretch myself up a little bit.
Okay. And she looks at you, and in her little hologram headpiece, we see like a bio of you appear. She kind of flicks her eyes over at it and looks back at you. And she says, Eugene, you and your friends have an appointment with a Generation 3 in 2 now. And then a door like pings and like slides open. She's like, you can go in.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
Okay. So you go into the office, and it's more or less like empty. There's a big desk. It's very Spartan, no art, except maybe a big painting behind the desk of Planor the Elder. And on the desk, there's probably like a customer service award. So there's like a little like statue of Planor, and it says like for number 1375154, outstanding customer service, and then like a date. And then a side door opens, and one of the Planors comes in, and she looks at you, and at her chronometer, and she's like, "We have exactly 3 minutes for this meeting, Eugene. What can I do for you?" And she sits down at the desk.
All right. Well, we have a wand thing, and we'd like to sell it.
And she nods, and as you're talking, her hand is like moving in empty space, but her headpiece, she's taking notes and like generating information. And she says to you, does this item belong to you legitimately, or did you steal it?
We found it.
And she stops, her hand stops moving, and her little like eyepiece flips up, and she gives you like a precisely quantified amount of stink eye, like just a second, and then she's like, "Really?
Fine. If those are my 2 options, we stole it."
So she makes a note, and she says, "Let's see it."
I like gesture to Quinn.
Quinn pulls it out of his pants and puts it on the table, but doesn't take his hand off of it.
Right. Her eyes flit to it and linger for just a second longer than, like, you can see there's that controlled, like, I have a second to look at this thing before I go back to the thing, but she takes an extra second, and then she frowns at the loss of like efficiency, and continues to type. And she says, "What does it do?" I kind of look at the group because I'm not sure how much we want to
say?
We don't know. It's just some fancy black metal, and we want to sell it.
And she says, fancy black metal or Agaran black metal?
Same fucking shit.
She scowls at you like, you idiot.
Agaran
Rex
black
takes it.
metal. Yeah, Agaran black metal.
Yeah. She nods. She says, all right. And how wide do you want this notice to go?
Everywhere.
Galaxy wide.
Yeah, and she's like, that's going to be expensive.
That's fine.
It'll pay for itself.
And she says, Eugene, you know better. That's not how we work. It's some upfront, a commission once you sell it.
I know. I understand. How much are we talking here?
She says, before or after the debt you already owe us?
I don't owe you anything. Come on. She said she was going to check that. You know I don't owe anything. Check with accounting.
Why don't you make a roll? Let's see. Let's see if you owe them or not. And I think is this Eugene trying to like squeeze out of not owing them anything, or are you or do you actually think it's legitimately possible that you don't owe them anything?
This is me trying to create a situation where literally every time I talk to a Planor, I say, "Oh no, check with accounting." Yeah.
Right.
Check with accounting. That's not correct. Right?
I talked to 78 yesterday. They said it was fine.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's just so many of them, and it's such a big operation that I'm like, no. I know that there's
Nice. Okay. So let's have you roll clever then, because you're not really being sneaky. You're just trying to play them against each other. Let's see difficulty's 4.
Cool.
Nice. Okay. So she sighs, and you see her other hand, like she's got interface rings on, and she like pulls up a notice, and she's typing with both hands. One of them she's recording the conversation you're having and building up your ad, and in the other hand she's writing a letter to like an email to accounting, and then like
Right.
flips it off and like brings back the thing and is like still going. And she says she says you have a few options, and basically like she's gonna work out a deal with you. So let's have you roll to see how well this deal goes, because really you don't care about how much money you get out of it, right? You just want to post the ads so that
We're not gonna get any.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna hide the fact that this is a bad time. It's gonna be a bad deal for them too.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
yeah,
don't
this is a
actually
dud.
intend on selling this.
This is a dud item.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Are you also do you also want to like hide the fact? I guess tell me what the result of this ad is, because we can just roll it all into this one roll, like how effective the ad is.
Here's what my perfect situation would be for this ad, at least as far as I'm concerned, is that that it says who has it, which is us, and then just a picture of the thing.
Okay, and by us you mean like specifically like you characters, and like do you want it to just like what's the ad? Like do you want to be like if we have this thing, we are selling it, we're holding an auction? Is it like we have this thing, it's here? And
I think it would be like it's an Agaran black metal relic.
I feel like if we just have a picture though, the people who know what it is are going to see that picture and be like, hell yeah. And the people, we're going to get more like duds from people who are like, ooh, Agaran black metal, that's worth something, right? And those aren't the people we're interested in. We're interested in people who look at it and immediately know what it is.
Well, then
right?
Perhaps our descriptor is metal rod of unique origin for sale, and then a photo. So it's like a really bad Craigslist ad.
Rod of unknown origin.
And it says like collectors only at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, what's the call to action on this item, right? Like, are they supposed to contact you? Are they supposed to come to a meeting at a particular time, like in Dead Man's Reef? Like, what's the response supposed to be?
Let's assume that we had this conversation.
Yeah, of course.
Ahead of time. What would like?
I think we want to do an auction at Dead Man's Reef.
I don't know if auction is right, but I think we're on the right path, that having all of them in the same area at the same time benefits us more than one at a time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because they'll all be after each other as well. Although auction implies that we have to then show up and be like, hi, everyone.
Yeah, maybe it's just like if you're interested, show up at this time in this place, and then they'll just all show up at the same time, right? And we can be like, oh fuck.
Oh my god.
Viewings available on this day.
Oh my
Right.
god. Viewings available Sunday 2 to 5 in the Slime Slum.
Dead Man's Reef.
In the Slime Slum, Dead Man's Reef.
Okay. All
Why
right.
are we auctioning it?
We're
Because-
not really.
What do you mean? Are you
Oh.
serious?
Yeah, we have this deadly weapon. Let's give it to a pirate.
We're not really giving
What?
it away.
We're not giving it to anyone. It's a trap.
Oh.
We're what
baiting
Admiral
them.
Akbar was talking about.
Listen,
We're the
guys,
trap.
I
Are
think
you
I
drunk
know,
in real life?
I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I just don't think we should sell it. Okay, just listen to me. Okay, I've only had a couple to drink. I'm good.
I've only had a couple of worms. I'm fine.
Oh, they're delicious after all, like gummy worms or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So with the help of one of the planors, you construct this elaborate trap for these people, and you send it out. So let's see how effective it is, because the idea here, I guess, if you, and I say this so often, what are you trying to do? What do you want if you succeed? Like if this goes exactly as planned.
Well, ideally, they're not going to be able to bring these fucking giant armies into like this neutral space. So
I mean, unless they don't care about it anymore, right?
I
Violating the
think-
neutral.
I think what we want to know is, one, who is after this, right? Two, is it anyone that we can then use? And three, is it going to help us figure out who killed the prince? Like I think those are objectives, in trying to figure out what everyone's role in this mystery of this artifact is, and try to find, like, we know where our place is in it. We know
Yeah.
that we're
so our
idiots who
prime
have it.
objective is drawing them away from the planets.
Mhm.
Thuja's supposed to be fucking getting back to us about the hybrid person, because that's the only way she's getting the scepter. And we're just generally putting an ad out and then holding on to it, I think.
Yeah, we
Just
just
so that
want.
they stop
is
like
just for
ravaging
information.
Slyn and stuff.
Yeah, this is to keep them off the trail of everywhere else, but more importantly, to figure out who our big bad is at the moment, because we don't know what we're up against, and so it'd be nice to put faces with our enemies.
Right.
Okay. Cool. So it's just to draw them out, so at least they're not like skulking around in the shadows.
Yeah,
lurking
they're not
after you.
amorphous anymore as far as our
We don't know who
characters
the
are concerned.
fuck's after us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So I guess you have a chance to read over the message again once you've confirmed that it is what you want it to be. Yeah, I think that the Planor agency broadcast it out into the universe for you. And I think that the scene that we get at the end, again, is like, you're not present for it, but we get various scenes of people like getting this information. So we see like a group of space pirates, of like nasty looking individuals, kind of like looking at a monitor, like looking it over. And like nodding on their ship. We cut to a shadowy, kind of spiky looking interior of a spaceship, and there's a bunch of Agaran like warriors like gearing up for battle. It's like getting their weapons on, doing the commando thing. And then we cut again, like before the last break, we cut to a Mingasi like warship, and a messenger is bringing the Duke a message, and he hands him a printout of this ad. And he looks down, and we just see him grin, and he's like, he looks at the messenger, and the messenger's like, "But sir, what if it's a trap?" And Duke Mako just smiles, and he says, he says like, "Ready my ship," and the guy nods and like runs off, and we see the Duke staring out into space through a window before we fade
Actual
fade to
space.
black. Yeah, actual space. Yeah, so he's staring out into space as the screen goes to black. So let's take our last break here, and we'll come back and see if the trap
Damn.
worked. Stick around. Another hour of RollPlay Nebula Jazz when we return.